This
with the team
conference will
members
now
who
be
are not
recorded.
available. So the goal of today's training is to talk about changes that were necessary to the MAP form, which is the asset tool you use to supply new items to the MLC. As you'll notice when you log in for the first time today, we have modified this to be more of a full screen view, hoping that overall user experience in a lot of these tools as we make additional enhancements becomes a little bit easier for each of you. So the changes made to the marketing asset profile map tool were very small. However, we just want to make sure you understand why we have made those changes. And the first thing that we did is going to go in and modify my map here. Let me see if I can get this moved up. There we go. Okay. So when you complete a marketing asset profile and you select MLC to add an item to that tool, you'll notice that everything within the asset info screen, which is the first tab, remained the same. We've made no updates here. We're still collecting the same data and the same information. When you move to the asset details page, this is where we've made a few modifications. The point of these modifications, again, is to feed the MLC overhaul that we are hoping to launch early summer this year. Those overhauls will include an improved user experience, easier site navigation, but the most important part of that overhaul is allowing the sales team to be able to search and locate assets much easier than they can today. So one of the biggest changes that we've made is that we will no longer restrict users to a specific country. Users now will have access to the MLC based on the region that they do business in. Each of you as item owners and Marcom team members will be considered admins, and you will have full access rights to the entire MLC literature listing. However, one of the things that we found in surveying the sales team is that when somebody from the APAC region logged in, they might have literature available to them specific to products that were not supported in the APAC region. Or a promo item would be added to the site for a promotion that was specific to Western Europe. So one of the goals that we wanted to achieve was to make sure that as you're adding new literature to the MLC, that it's visible only to regions where that product or that promotion are valid. The way that we've updated that, a lot of it is in the background with no issues from your side to have to address, but you'll notice when you log in the next time and you select the brand of Merck in your language, you will have this question that asks you which regions your item should be visible in. If you have a MilliporeSigma branded piece, that question goes away. Anything that's branded to MilliporeSigma will be made available to the North American region. So if I do have my Merck branded piece, your drop-down options are to select all, or you can pick which of the specific regions your item is available in. So if you are loading a flyer that is specific to a promotion only available in Western Europe, we do ask that you just check that one box. If the product is available within a few of the regions, you can select only the ones that it is available in. Or if your item is specific to something that is available to everyone, you can select all, and it will populate all of those boxes for you. The next item that has been added that is a new addition to the MLC is brand logo on the document. This is a drop-down box that's going to allow you to select which specific brand is displayed on that piece of literature. This was feedback from the sales that they were looking for specific items, and this is now going to be relayed in the search feature. If someone is looking for something specific to Sigma Aldrich, they can search on that, and if you have selected that brand logo, in the map form, it will return in that search. Two additional options that we've added to the MLC are going to be filters to the page. So along with the search and an improved hierarchy experience, you will have the ability to filter the results on the home page, as well as within your search or within specific categories to your specific business area that you work in or a market research area. So we worked with the Marcom team to develop this drop-down list of supported market research areas. And what we're going to ask you to do moving forward is to review this list, and if the piece of literature or the asset you're adding fits to one of these market research areas, we ask that you tag it to the map form. And then when a sales rep is filtering on the MLC by that specific research area, your piece of literature will return as part of that filter. The next filter that we're adding is workflow tag. So same experience as the market research area. There is a defined drop-down list of workflows that were important to the sales team to be able to locate literature by. We ask that you review this list, and if it fits to the literature or asset you are adding, that you select that, and that will again allow the sales team to be able to filter down the literature in their search results to that specific workflow. We are aware that the market research area and workflow tag dropdowns may not be complete. As you work within the tool, if there's something that you feel should be added or would be important to the sales team, we ask that you reach out to Dieter and Bianca. Their contact information is up here at the top of the map, and supply them what you would like to be added and why. They'll then work with you and the Gabriel Group Lit Center support team to get those drop downs added. One thing we don't want to do is to have this list get out of control. So it is important, as most of you know, looking at the current hierarchy on the MLC, that we need to keep a good harmonized listing that supports both the applied and the research division. That harmonized listing needs to stay in control so that it's easy for the sales team to navigate and locate items. We also want to keep these drop-down lists in control. The more we add to them, the longer they get, the less value they're going to bring to your sales team. So do keep that in mind when you're looking at what to select or tag to these different filter areas. Just a little bit more update on the MLC enhancement. Many of you probably received an email survey. We were able to work with the Salesforce team to determine what regions many of the MLC users were a part of. If we were not able to determine the region of the MLC user, we did send out a survey over the last 2 weeks to capture what regions those users belong to. Today is the drop dead deadline to reply to that survey. So we will complete some additional user cleanup next week. And then moving forward, Dieter and Bianca will be working with you all to take the legacy items that are already within the MLC with active user information to tag them to these additional new item filters that have been added to the updated MLC. So soon you will be hearing from Dieter with listings based on your business and segment so that you can provide us this information on your legacy items that are already within the MLC. In order for the MLC launch to be effective and for the new features to work for the sales team, we do need to make sure that the brand logo is tagged to all items and that you're able to provide us a market research area and workflow tag when they are relevant to that piece of literature. So pretty simple changes made to the map. Just wanted to make sure that each of you were informed with why those new additions have been added and how that will function when we launch the updated MLC. Did anyone have any questions about the changes or the enhancements?
Yes, we have received one question in the chat. Can you select multiple brand logo at one time?
It is currently not set up to do that. Are there pieces of literature, Peter, that you know that would represent multiple brands?
Yes, there would be. Sorry to jump in there, but yeah, there.
That's okay.
That was a question for me too. Somebody else obviously answered, but this is scary. But yes, that would be. There are multi-portfolio pieces out there, so.
Okay. What we'll do is we will make this a drop down that mimics very similar to the regions that you have here, where you'll have the ability to select multiple. We can definitely make that adjustment.
Cool.
I had a question that I thought of while we were watching this. I know you pick, Mark, you can pick regions. I can't remember if you already discussed this, but is it possible when it's Millipore Sigma that it could be US or Canada? I know sometimes there are promos that are specific to Canada.
No, at this time it was determined that that segregation between Canada and US would be removed. So we do ask that if you are adding a piece that is specific to Canada, that you just put in the item description for Canada use only, same as something is specific to the US.
Okay, thank you.
I actually
One of the other things that this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Ashley. And I don't think Ashley will be able to answer this, but I'm just curious, since we're making the brand logo a radio buttons so that maybe you could choose more than one. Do we need to do that for any market research area or workflow tag? I mean, I don't know. I mean, are there pieces out there that touch on more than one workflow? Or I know there's some Marcom people on the phone probably, so I'm just curious about that.
We did have that discussion when we started talking about the filters, and I believe it was determined that they should be tagged to one. On the MLC, when a sales rep is filtering, they'll be able to select to filter by more than one market research area or workflow tag, but each individual asset would be tagged to only one.
Oh, okay, right. Okay. Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome. I'll be honest, I had the same brain stop yesterday when we were reviewing the training, so we're in the same space.
So just one other thing too that I noticed when I was out there this morning, I was updating a piece, or actually it was getting ready to, it expired today and I was extending it. So I guess that's just something worth mentioning. Maybe anytime that anyone goes out there to update any of the map forms, they're going to have to answer these questions. Or, I mean, I guess some of them you don't really have to answer, but the brand and the language one, it wouldn't let me go forward without adding that information.
Correct. Anything with the red star when you're filling out the map form are required fields. So if you do go back to edit an existing map form, those required fields that we've added will have to be answered in order for you to move forward.
Right.
I see someone in the chat is whether you can exclude a specific country.
Trying to see if I can get to the chat here. Stacy, can you jump in and explain in a little bit more detail what you mean by exclude a specific country?
So I have a promo that we're working on right now, a flyer, and it's for a discount on a particular product, and this is not applicable in Japan. So, but it's applicable everywhere else in the globe except Japan. So is there a way to not have it available if you're in Japan viewing?
No, at this time you could restrict it from the APAC region, but not to a specific country within the APAC region.
Okay.
I would suggest including that in the item description when it's added so that that's clear, or in the long description.
Hi, it's Anne. So when you have specific countries that you can send it to, but only specific countries, you just put it in that chat box, in that specific space. It's only for this and this and this and this region or countries.
Yes, so if it is specific to certain regions, you would select only the regions that it was available in. If it's specific to certain countries within that region, that would need to be listed in the item long description.
Okay, so it's just an example, but we have a partnership with Mettler Toledo, for example, and we can only run it in Western Europe, North America, and China. So I would put North America, Western Europe up there, and then in the description, I would say, please add China only, or?
No, so for North America,
Sorry.
you would have to have a different branded piece.
Yeah,
So you would have to have a Millipore
that for
Sigma
sure.
branded
Yeah.
piece. And so that piece would be branded to Millipore Sigma. It would
Yeah,
be
that
added to the MLC within that region, and they would have access to it. For your Merck branded piece, you would select Western Europe, and you would have to select Asian Pacific. In the long
specifies.
description, you would want to add a note that says, in the Asia Pacific region, this is only available to China.
Okay, great. Thanks. Got it.
Peter, we might need to take a step back with Michelle and just review how we have this set up by region. Regions, from the survey results from the sales team, regions, they seem to be the most important to make sure items were available. But if you all are doing a lot of country-specific items, we might need to regroup on that. It is definitely a more complicated programming step. And we also don't have country tags for each of your sales reps. They seem to be selling within a specific country, but we run into issues where people need the ability to ship from one country to another. So we are definitely not fine-tuning the experience at a country level.
I think let us go ahead with this. With a selection what we have right now, we are able to select now, which is an enhancement, and the next step in the next enhancement step can then be to go down to the countries. Yes, but let us go ahead as it is right now, our plan, and to use the possibility to give this in a special notification field.
Okay. And Carol, your comment in the chat about all of the languages, yes, there was no changes made to the available languages within the map form.
I have a question. If you scroll down this request form, you have a question, a mandatory question that I never understood why it was there and why it was mandatory actually. Oh, it's maybe the next page. It's the, hold on, the image of employee. So we have to say yes or no, and this is a mandatory field, image of employee. What is this for?
Which question?
Image of employee. It's at the bottom, really at the end of the submission form.
That is specific to I want to say the MAM.
It's on
On
the
my-
next screen, actually. It's on it on
Yeah,
the next
I've got
page.
if you select only the MLC, that question does not appear. Missing a required field.
There.
I know it's not the aim of this meeting, but because we are all together here, and I never understood what was the aim.
Right here
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you are adding a new asset to the MAM, this is a required field that has to be included. And if you check yes, you have to give the employee name. And that is a privacy requirement so that they make sure that the employee has provided a release agreeing to have their photo used. But again,
Marie?
that is specific to the MAM
I can give you an
tool, not the
example.
MLC.
That could refer to, for example, for sales flyer, when you have a picture of a sales rep on it, you have to have an agreement because of his photo on it, or sometimes even a brochure, when you have a brochure of an employee. You always have to have an agreement.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I've never seen this kind of collateral, but I imagine that it exists.
So for example, to give you an
I see
example,
that.
you know, for your products for MRSNI, the MRSNA, I mean, with Jessica on it. Now I have an agreement for her image. So that would be a typical example when you upload something.
All right. And this is only for MAM, you said, Ashley?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And Carrie, I see your question about copying, pasting multiple keywords. That is not something that we have updated yet. The keywords are being reviewed as part of the item overhaul. As long as that is okay, we'll make that enhancement without additional training. But I'll let you know once that is available. Did anyone else have any questions about the enhancements to the MLC or the new fields added to the map? Dieter, any other input from your side?
No, not yet. Maybe you can show the new view, the draft, or isn't it possible now?
At this time, it's not ready to be. It is out there. It's not pretty at this point, so we are not ready to share that. I know we will be reaching out to a few users to support us as beta testers in the process of reviewing and testing the enhancements. And we will definitely have an extended training session for each of you as item owners and Marcom users.
Okay, here comes the next question from Carrie. Will these changes be applied to the dealer portal?
Yes. So the dealer portal actually is the MLC. Those users are just forced into a restriction group. So all changes that are made within the MLC will also be reflected in the dealer portal views as well.
So if there are not more questions from your end, I would like to say thank you very much to Ashley and to the Gabriel team. And also thank you to the audit for your participation. Please do not hesitate. Send me an email or get in touch with me, give me a call whenever you have more questions. And now I would like to say thank you very much and have a good weekend to all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.